What kind of nerfs is Zeri getting? I'm not sure yet, but the goal is not to gut her. They're intended to be pretty light overall. Probably like a 1% power hit on something like pretty basic. That's the goal. We'll see how it pans out. Doesn't nerfing Zeri just result in JINX becoming the dominant pick in pro play? It's less likely. I might be eating my words here, like maybe she does just take over. But it's less likely because JINX tends to have a lot more like weaknesses and openings that you can exploit versus Zeri. Turns out going over walls is a pretty big deal. And so like as an example right now, despite being like really powerful in solo queue, JINX only has like a 40% pick rate in pro, whereas Zeri has like a 75% pick rate. JINX also tends to be a lot more vulnerable to the like the lane bullies that are powerful right now, the Varises, the Callistas, and anybody else we buff up there. And so, yeah, you know, I'm not a seer, I don't know, but, and again, it's not about getting rid of Zeri, it's about, like, bringing her down a little bit. So, yeah, our goal is not to, in the past, so this is another thing, if you're a Zeri player, you probably have a lot of trauma, because in the past, whenever we're nerfing Zeri, our goal is to kind of, like, get rid of her. It's like, we don't want to see her, bye-bye, right? Like, that's kind of the intent. That's not the case for Zeri right now. Again, the case for Zeri right now is you want to reduce presence. We're not trying to remove her from the meta. So we're not going to make changes that like delete Zeri and then put JINX on top. That's not the point of whatever changes we make. It's to just, she's a little strong right now. The crit item changes were pretty good for her. Give her a little tap down. That's the general idea. Is the Yone buff to compensate for the lethal tempo nerf? That's part of it, yeah. Part of the Yone buff is lethal tempo compensation, and part of it is like he generally is a cool pro character, so there's like probably value in giving him a compensation on the MSI patch specifically. Are we generally happy about the experience in jungle? Feels weird to be 2 to 3 levels a bit lower than the top laner. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It is intended that the junglers are lower level than top and mid though. 2 to 3 levels lower might not be correct. Maybe it's supposed to be 1 or 2, but overall, because the jungler gets to, you know, get through the game without having to like contest waves and whatnot, we think it's appropriate that they can't just out-level the solo laners and then come beat them up. Again, not saying the tuning is perfect though. Maybe it's supposed to be a bit closer